Good day. Welcome to the maiden edition of Clear Sports. It's a special on the 2023 AFCON where we preview and review. We give you all the thrills and thrills behind the scenes and the goals. This show will be capturing for you everything you need to know about the AFCON as they progress. We've seen 7 days of action so far, and I can assure you that it's been mind-blowing. It's been upset filled, and we are here to put you into the mood as Super Eagles will be approaching their second game against Cote d'Ivoire come later today. My name is Olushola Adebayo, and I have with me in the studio, I'll be doing it alone.
Absolutely, it's good to be here, and definitely it's all about the Super Eagles, and do you want to call it redemption? Because so many people were disappointed from the first game, but let's see if they are able to sort this time around.
All right, we'll see how far they can push this. The team have been boosted with the arrival of some players, Kelechi Iheanacho, Terry Murphy, as well as Paulo Onuachu. Maybe it can help the Super Eagles solve this scoring problem that we noticed in the first game. We'll be previewing that game, no doubt about that, and we'll also be letting you into the other game that will be coming up immediately after that, the biggest in terms of pedigree and in terms of regional rivalry. Talking about Egypt taking on the Black Stars of Ghana. The Egyptians have been dominating this competition for a while, and Ghana old time was, the last time they won was like about 40 years ago, and I don't think they are ready to win it again.
I don't think so. Not from the first game that we saw. I think for the Ghanaians, quite a whole lot, is happening there in the camp. From the players, the new ones are struggling to get a foothold into the team. The likes of the Ayus are set to, leave the team. A whole lot as well, and not everyone is also in tune with Chris Hutton's, coaching style. So I think they need to get going. The last AFCON was terrible for them. They finished bottom of their group. They will be hoping to avoid, another group stage exit.
All right, Samson, you need to save all of that because it's going to be the meat and the details that will be going into the show with. So we are going to be looking at the Super Eagles game against Cote d'Ivoire and Black Stars of Ghana against Egypt. Both of them couldn't get the maximum point in their first game, and this game is very crucial to their progress. But meanwhile, we'll also be going to Cote d'Ivoire live, the venue of the 2023 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations, the biggest football fiesta on the continent, where Said Afalabi will be waiting to get us live feeds from the Super Eagles camp as they prepare for this crucial game, and we will be taking a look at some of those highlights of event that we've seen so far. So stick around, the show continues after this. Let's join Said Afalabi all the way in Cote d'Ivoire, the venue of the 2023 Africa football competitions. And he's been tracking the Super Eagles training and everything that has been going down since their first game against Equatorial Guinea, since they will be playing later today. And Said, how are you doing? The players, have they been responding to what the coaches have been teaching them in camp as far as beating Cote d'Ivoire is concerned?
So I'm live here at the media center of the AFCON here in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. So we just had the press conference of Pesero and AFCON before this call came in. And for me, the Super Eagles have to win that game. They started first on that game. Most people expect them to win the game. The fans, the players, the fans are rooting for the players to get the job done, whereas the atmosphere of the players is actually a very good one. They have a very good morale. I can assure you that they had a meeting where the players actually talked about the game and doing some chat with some of the players exclusively. They revealed to me that they are well charged. So I expect a very, very crunchy and entertaining encounter against the Ivorians.
All right, Said, good one. Now tell us about the injury scare in the camp. We've heard the fact that Ali Hassan and Osimhen train separately. Will they be available for today's game?
So, sadly, he has been ruled out of the game against Ivory Coast. And I saw him at the Super Eagles hotel yesterday. I saw him limping. I was like, so then I knew that I don't think he's going to make the game. But officially, the Super Eagles coach Jose Pesero has actually revealed to us that Al-Hassan Yusuf has been ruled out of the game against Ivory Coast. But there are some speculations flying up and down that he might be ruled out of the tournament, or Al-Hassan Yusuf has been ruled out of the tournament. We don't have much information regarding that, but the one I can exclusively tell you here is that Al-Hassan Yusuf has been ruled out of the game against the Ivory Coast, and I believe that will be a very, very big blow to the considering of how effective and impactful Al-Hassan had against the Equatorial Guinea.
Okay, and finally, what are the expectations of Nigerians in Cote d'Ivoire? And what do you think the locals are also thinking about their team? Is it going to be a kind of low expectation on the side of Nigerians, or everybody believes the Super Eagles can go all the way?
Expectations of Nigerians and the coach is very, very high. I think, let me also let you tell you this. During one of my chats with some of the fans, I could see that they are happy that something like this is coming to Ivory Coast, and I'm talking about Nigerians in Ivory Coast. Nigerians are living happy. We actually want the Super Eagles to win this tournament. We are not even deterred by the poor result against Equatorial Guinea, but they are good to for the Super Eagles to win against Ivory Coast. And it will even be a thing of joy to them.
All right, thanks, Said, for your thought on that. We will surely be getting back to you after the game to get reactions and all of that. Thanks for being part of the show. All right, welcome back to the show. It's still Clear Sports, and we are now moving straight to the other things on the show. So far, so good. We've seen a first round of matches in all of the group,
Yep.
and it's more of the minors, so to say, are coming up with something different at this competition. It has always been the big teams winning their first game, more or less like a tradition, but it's not the same since we started the competition 7 days ago.
Yes, it's not the same. I think I like the fact that the minors, as you said, are stepping up to the big boys and challenging them. Really, more importantly, is the way they even attack. Oftentimes, you see the big boys dominate proceedings, and they wait for a counter attack. For example, Namibia got a historic maiden win at the African Cup of Nations at the expense of Tunisia, and we saw that they were also attacking. They even had more attempts at goal and more shots on target than the Tunisians. The same thing can be said for Mozambique, who almost got a win over the seven-time champions Egypt. Overall, you have to get to understand that for the smaller teams, as it were, it's all about ensuring that they get the goals. They can put pressure on the big boys, and that's what we saw from the first round of the matches across the groups.
All right. Is that a clear indication of what to expect? Can we have a new winner grabbing these cups? It has always been. The last time we saw a new winner was in 2015.
The last edition, Senegal.
Senegal.
Yeah.
Oh, then Zambia also won it in
2012.
the last 10 years or thereabout. Can we have a new winner for this edition?
Well, we can have a new winner, but you want to look at the teams and decide which one, really. I don't think it's going to be from the smaller teams, talking about the likes of Equatorial Guinea or Guinea-Bissau.
Or Namibia.
No. If there will be a first-time winner, it's probably from the teams that have been relatively decent over the years. Mali is a strong contender, although you can't look past, the likes of Senegal, the host nation, Cote d'Ivoire, Egypt in the mix. These are the, pre-tournament favorites. You want to throw the Super Eagles as well in the mix. Yeah.
Maybe. But sincerely, let's look at some of the upsets. I never see Cape Verde beating the Black Stars. They have massive preparation leading to this. All of their players arrived on time and they stayed in Ghana. They had fantastic atmosphere to prepare for this, but it was a rude shock losing to Cape Verde. Namibia also came through 2 days earlier when against all odds they ensured Tunisia were neutralized. And maybe Mali looking like a team that can finally live up to that expectation. They've been knocking on the doors for years, and they will always not been able to just get the final break. But this year, can they really go past the likes of Senegal, Morocco, even Nigeria?
Well, you have to look at the various teams and the peculiarities to how they play, as well as the players, the qualities they've got. I think when you talk about the Minos or some of the upsets we saw from the first round of matches, Namibia probably was the most prominent one because it was against Tunisia. For Ghana, the Ghanaians have not had it going for them in AFCON in recent years. As I said earlier, the last AFCON, they were really terrible. They finished bottom of a group that had Comoros and Gabon. So the Ghanaians were not expected to really have that straightforward run, as it were. I think Tunisia was one of those teams you would have reckoned with to get out of the group. Namibia getting a historic win over them, I think that's probably the peak of the bunch when it comes to the upsets of the first, round of matches. Having said that, concerning the Malians, this is a team that they have the players, they have the quality there, they also have the physicality. Remember, when it comes to African football, it's more of the physical attributes, the stamina, the strength, the physique, how bulky you are in terms of hold up plays and all of that. All of these things can work for the Malians. They have it in abundance, and we can go on in terms of really names. I think at the end of the day, it depends on one, how they're able to piece all of those attributes together when it comes to formidable opponents like Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and the likes.
All right, let's look at the technical aspect of the game now. Coaching impact will always change games. With what we've seen so far, how much of difference the coaches have made in games changing moments, especially with the way team transit from midfield to attack. We normally see slower transition. Has the situation been different this time around?
Well, we didn't see that against Tunisia against Namibia. Again, that I'm referring to that one because that's probably the biggest when it comes to upsets thus far in the competition. And the Namibians, as I said earlier, they attacked more in terms of attempts on goal, shots on target. They had it going for them, and you could really praise the goalkeeper of the Namibians, Kazapwa, for coming up with those stunning saves over and over again to keep them in the game. But I think the Namibian coach did quite well, and you just have to give him kudos for how he was able to
Manage
manage the team. For the Super Eagles now, since we're talking about managerial roles, that those who have also given the stick to Osepesere for how he managed the game against Equatorial Guinea. The team went behind, responded quickly, courtesy of Osimhen's equalizer, and they needed goals. He took out fullbacks and also brought in fullbacks, like for like replacements. So that those who are also questioning the decision or the rationale behind such, tactical.
Maybe just trying to defend with the 1-1 is better
How
than
do you
losing
defend
the game.
against Equatorial Guinea first match? Because you need to win. I mean, the
that,
essence
that,
of
that game actually looks like the game the Super Eagles could have get the maximum 3 points,
Yep.
and it won't put them under unnecessary pressure going to that's a code of Aga. But we'll talk about the Super Eagles much more later. Now let's look at Egypt against Mozambique. It's almost going for the Mozambicans, creating one of the biggest upsets. But the big boys showed up and they level up. We also saw Burkina Faso also showing up.
Yep.
Is it going to be the threat or the Achilles of these smaller teams to kill off games when you need them to? And probably that's why they may not win it.
Exactly. Again, what makes the bigger teams, more dominant, as the one with the quality, then two, the mentality, how the players, have that belief and confidence that as long as the final whistle isn't blown, they still stand a chance.
All right, thanks Samson for that breakdown of procedure so far at the AFCON. All right, welcome back to the show. But Samson, you saw the clip and Kelechi Iheanacho talking about the fact that despite the fact that he wasn't there, that those boys actually gave their best. Though he spoke in pidgin, English doesn't matter, it's still our language. And talk about the fact that they gave all their best, and the team will do well to ensure they win their next game. What do you see to this?
Well, it's the right words, from a leader of the team. Yes, Ahmed Musa may be the captain, but Kelechi Iheanacho has also been around the team for quite some time, so he's a leader. It's the right thing to say. I think the average Nigerian won't be bothered about that. They'll be more concerned about the performance. If the performance is good and the results isn't good, as much as they'll get
At this Nations
sticks,
Cup?
it won't be as much as we saw from the first game.
Because if you check the first game, the Super Eagles, for me, I don't know, this may be their best, if not the best, one of their best performances in the last 5, 6 games we've seen them play under Pesero. The only difference there is that they failed to convert their chances, and it was so glaring.
That's the issue. Osimhen was also a culprit
Yeah.
despite getting a goal.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when you look at the last 5, 6 games you've talked about, we've struggled to beat Guinea-Bissau. We've struggled to beat Equatorial Guinea.
Mozambique
We-
as well, Saudi Arabia.
You can go on and on with the list of teams that we've struggled to beat. So it's a bit of concern that we can't even beat the smaller teams. How much more the bigger teams? And for you to win a tournament like the African Cup of Nations, you'll probably have to go through the likes of Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal. You can mention Egypt
You
as
can't
well.
you can't escape all the big boys. There's no
Exactly.
way. At least you play at least 2 of them going forward.
I think the major concern will be the injuries that have bedeviled the team in recent times.
And I also believe that the coach have not been so lucky with injuries. Those 5, 6 matches that we talked about, I think he only won once in all of those matches. The last 3 was draws, and he never had the full complement of his squad. And going to this Nations Cup, those things keep coming up. Like what is his
Victor
name?
Boniface.
Victor Boniface, Wilfred Ndidi, and
Sadiq,
even Kelechi Iheanacho wasn't available for this game, and the coach still find a way around it. Brought in what's his name? Ali Hassan
Alassane
Yusuf. He fit in perfectly and is injured again. He's likely to miss this game. And going forward, how do you think all of these new boys, Onachu, Terry Murphy, that does have few days training with this team, not in the coach plans, how will all of those things impact on this game? And do you think it won't be enough excuse for anybody if you don't get the results?
Well, the truth is, even if we had a healthy squad, a full complement of the squad, as it were, what are the chances that we'll defeat Cote d'Ivoire? We also have to look at that. It's easy for us to go back to the statistics and say, oh, okay, it's been a close rivalry. They've won 9, we've won 8, and all of that. But when you look at Nigeria's record in recent times against the big boys, it's nothing to write home about. Even against the
Smaller
so-called
teams.
smaller teams, we know how we squandered a 4-goal lead right there in Nigeria, Lagos.
And we
against
failed to
Sierra-
qualify for the World
Exactly.
Cup.
So we can go on and on. I think the major concern now is let's work with what we have. Yes, injuries have bedeviled the team in recent times. It's not really been a pleasant one, from Victor Boniface in DD down to Al Hassan Yusuf, who impressed in his
the last game.
first game. But I think he has to work with what he has. Now you want to ask yourself, where's the creative outlets coming from? Because Victor Osimhen definitely is the go-to guy, but who does the creative duties?
And
for
that
him?
takes me to the way we played the midfield, especially in the second half, because the first half wasn't so good. Maybe they were looking forward to see how Yusuf will play. But at the end of the day, he fixed in through. Then second half, well, Alex Iwobi came through, created 2 good scoring chances. Then when what's his name now? Aribo also
Aribo,
came in.
Aribo.
Everything was a bit balanced. What kind of change do you think the coach will be bringing in that midfield? Especially that Iheanacho is here now, and we know it's a perfect number 8 to play behind Osimhen. But Wobi tried to play that role the last time. It wasn't clicking at the time, and then when it started clicking, Osimhen can't convert those chances. How do you think the coach will manage the absence of Yusuf now with the presence of Kelechi Iheanacho?
Well, Yusuf trained, separately, without the teams, trained separately yesterday, so he may get a look in at some point during the course of this game. I think it's more about the creative aspect for this game, really. And you look at it, Joe Aribo probably will be the best fit in terms of taking up that role. You have Nwobi as well complementing. Osimhen definitely will get a goal, but he also needs to be more clinical. The last, that chance he missed against Equatorial Guinea probably cost us 3 points,
Yep.
but you can't take anything away. Defensively as well, we need to be, alive to the threats that, Cote d'Ivoire would pose, because this is a different challenge as against what Equatorial
Lots of
Guinea did.
Nigerians have actually complained about the back four recently, and Saidi Sanusi got the most
Definitely,
sticks,
definitely.
and probably the coach will be looking at ringing changes in that regards too. The 5 and 6, we saw AFCON coming back, and I think he had a decent outing with Semi Ajayi in that role. She was able to join the midfield at the time, while the goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali surprises me with the way he
Yeah.
commands those big boys in front in terms of experience and the number of caps of Super Eagles, but still manages to put everybody on their toes, and his timely intervention sometimes makes bad position look so good when he comes to catches those balls. So, how do you think the coach have a decision to make? Can he stick with Nwabali, or Uzo will get back to
Well,
to
the thing with Peseri is he has so much faith in Uzor. Uzoho,
that's my worry
we've seen
because
that repeatedly
yeah,
when Francis was getting the
because
stick,
people said
he kept playing him.
you need to play. Uzo needs to rest so that the pressure can go away a bit. But now, has he rested enough?
Well, I don't know. The coach is the one in training with them. He will definitely make a decision. I think Wambali had a very decent game against
So he
Equatorial
deserves to
Guinea.
continue
He-
definitely.
Exactly, at some point there has to be some sort of continuity. If I was Pesera, I would definitely retain faith with him in terms of starting against Cote d'Ivoire. Now, for the back four, we've always known that there have been defensive frailties. Gone were the days when we had Joseph Yobo last time, even when we won AFCON the last time in 2013. Joseph Yobo was not,
A mainstay.
a
Yeah,
mainstay in the
yeah.
team, a prominent member of the team, as it were,
All
in
the
terms of playing
those new
90
boys came on
minutes.
board and they were
Exactly.
able to
Kenneth Omeri and the rest of them. So,
Babuna,
Godfrey, yeah,
Azubike.
exactly. Regardless of who plays the back four, I think we need players who can, battle with or match up with the Ivorians, physique for physique, stamina for stamina, strength for strength. It's not going to be a game of flair. And when you look at the options right now, Olaino, sometimes you're not sure which leg he wants to use. We know quite well he's versatile, left and right footed, but sometimes you just need him to be decisive, especially when is attacking. When he's overlapping, you need those crosses to come in and be
Okay,
decent. There's a whole lot that really needs to go on. I think Zaidu Sanusi isn't the best option we have for left back. That also has to be looked at as well.
okay, we'll see how the coach will set out his team. And since we mentioned the Ivorians, let's look at the way they played their first game. They were the host. They got lucky the first 4 minutes after a fantastic opening ceremony. They scored a goal. Their
Was that
confidence.
lucky? That was a very great strike.
I know it's a very great strike, but
Good
when
build-up.
why I said lucky is this: when you have all the crowd, everybody supporting you on an opening day, early goal makes things easy for the side.
Well, it is what it is.
Because the pressure will have been mounting because everybody will be looking out for whatever happens, let us win this first game, then we set ourselves up for a great competition. So it happened for them. The first 5 minutes, they have their goal and they scored another one. Feel good feeling, everybody's fine, nobody is looking at the weaknesses or whatever. Everybody just believe it's a good game and they will looking forward to the next game. But the Super Eagles, started on a very rough note. Is it more or less an advantage in disguise going into this game? What are the lapses you notice that Spike can explore in the Cote d'Ivoire side?
Well, it's difficult to tell when you say, they had a very rough start, and then is that some sort of good in disguise? I think at the end of the day, you have to realize that for the Super Eagles, down the spine of the team, that's where the issue is. Right there at the spine, defensive pairing for the centre backs, the goalkeeper. Who is it going to be? Omar Bali or Uzoho. Then the defensive midfield position as well as the creative outlet. I think down the spine, that's where the issue is. Osimhen is the only good, player down that spine that you can rely on.
I'm looking at the Cote d'Ivoire side.
He's been signaling.
All right, I'm looking at the Cote d'Ivoire side. Can we explore one or two things that you notice that the Super Eagles can just capitalize on? Is there any loopholes in that Cote d'Ivoire side?
Well, it's difficult because for Cote d'Ivoire, their opening game, we didn't see much of threats. We didn't see those defensive frailties from them. But one thing I think the Super Eagles can do will be to make use of pace against the Ivorians in terms of seeing if they can break them down with that. I'm not talking about counter, attacking football now. I'm talking about the forwards being pacey and just running at the Ivorians at full speed. I think that can always be the breakthrough. But if we're gonna deploy our fullbacks offensively, then crosses needs to be decent. Especially Ola, he was a culprit last time out. He needs to put in decent crosses for Semen to bank on.
Okay. Are you going to put a scoreline on this one?
I'm not. I'm not.
But you feel the Super Eagles can win.
Well, both sides can win. But on the back of what we've seen recently from the Super Eagles, not just the first match, but other friendly matches. When was the last time we defeated a big team? That's where the worry lies.
Well, the last time we defeated Cote d'Ivoire was in 2013 and went all the way to win the competitions. Maybe it could happen this
Deja
time.
vu.
All right, Egypt against Ghana. A quick one on that.
Well, Egypt against Ghana, the major concern will be the defensive frailties of both sides. Now, for the Ghanaians, we saw how they collapsed, considered a last second winner against Cape Verde in the opening match. Defensively, they have lots of things to worry about, and Chris Hutton's shape or playing style as well is not suited for the team. Maybe because not everyone is confident about how they play. On the flip side, the Egyptians offensively they're very good. Yes, you can talk about Salah getting assists, getting a goal in the opening game, but defensively they also have worries of their own. If you can see two goals against Mozambique, definitely you have to look back and ask yourself what are you doing wrong defensively.
Well, both teams have won this competition before. Ghana 4 times, Egypt 7 times, and both teams conceded 2 goals in their first game, despite the fact that they have lots of firepowers in the attack.
Quickly, if any team would win this, you're probably going to tilt towards the Egyptians a bit. I think it may end in a stalemate, but I don't see the Ghanaians winning actually.
Well, maybe they are under pressure of a sort because we learned of a situation where a fan was arrested because he was trying to have a go with the coach in the team's camp, and the supporters also they threatened to pull out of the Nations Cup, and they had some dollars in this, man.
Honestly, Ghanaian football in recent years has not been at its best. We talked about the last AFCON. They were really terrible. Bottom of the group that had Comoros, Gabon as well. Now they've started on another disappointing note. Beyond the controversies of their, Ghanaian FA and its elections and all of that, I think more needs to be done. Chris Alton, is it the best for Ghana? I don't think so in the light of what we've seen in recent times. But against Egypt, you probably just want to tilt towards the Egyptians to get a win. At the very best, for the Ghanaians, will be a draw.
All right, that's all we have time for on the show today. You can watch out for the game between Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire 6 p.m. and Egypt and Ghana later after that game by 9 p.m. We'll come back again to review all of that and put you in the mood for the AFCON. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's Clear Sports. Lucia Lalabayo remains my name. Thanks, Samson, for being on the
Thank you
show.
very much
It's been
for
a cool
having me.
30 minutes with you.